That's the longest I've been away from my baby in a while. I'm not that close. All right, first and... Is that me making all that ruckus? I hope not. Sawubona! Anybody knows what it is? Sally Falco does. It's Zulu, and it's a phrase that means something really interesting to me. It means, I see you. I was getting into this a real lot. Jim Collins started off Good to Great with this too, and I stole it from him. Because I see you is the thing that's been missing in communications lately, from like the 50s to 2006 or more. We don't say I see you. We don't feel heard or seen. We don't feel recognized. And that's the first thing I wanted to do is instead of saying hi, because what does hi mean? I see you. Now, I use it wrong because I just learned that the plural is Sani Bonani, which is funnier, but not as memorable as Sawubona. The other weird thing I learned, or by weird I mean crazy for me to be standing here, is in 1963, Dr. Martin Luther King stood right here. Among history. This allows me the act of feeling humble shortly after Cheryl explains, how nicely that she said that. I'm just a typist. I'm a guy who types. I really am. I type into Twitter, I type into Facebook, I type into a blog, I write emails to people. I'm a typist. I wrote a book with another guy. Is that me? It's me. All right, everybody. Well, no, I think I bent the cord or something. I don't know. This is the difference in the way we use social media, is that we're always on. We're always real. We're always trying hard to reassess and reconnect with humanity in this way. One of the things that we started learning about when Julian Smith and I wrote the book was we talked about something called pattern breaking based on pattern recognition, which is the whole idea that once you... That's really bugging me. I might go stand at the lectern in a minute. Once you realize that there's patterns and systems, you can learn what they mean and how to work within them, and then you can learn how to break them and do new things with them. And then you can learn something that's totally me. You can learn about... Man, just hanging off my belly.
That didn't work.
All right. Wait. Let's do this. Hi. We'll sort this out a little later. This will keep me from pacing, which means you won't get as dizzy. Thank you. Thank you very much. I won't say let there be light. Understanding that there's patterns, understanding that the way we do things is driven on a lot of patterns. Who gets up in the morning, they go out, they get their cup of coffee, they get their coffee the same way. They either make it at their house or they go to Starbucks. They know exactly how to order at Starbucks or their coffee place of choice. Exactly how every single day. Who says the same thing, basically, every time you're in the hallway when you see somebody coming the other way? What's up? How you doing? How's it going? Hanging in there? Did this to the guy the other day. It was really funny, last week or so. So how's it going? He goes, hanging in there. And I said, what happens when you let go? And it was just a throwaway phrase, and he just kind of went, I don't know. But it was just the simplest thing, and that's what we realized, is we realized we're on autopilot. And the opportunity with these things like social media isn't to be cool, it's not to connect with some new technology. It's to wake up and do things again. It's to wake up again and feel that sense that we're trying to really connect with humans, which is the thing that we lost, right? This isn't marketing. This isn't why you should use software. This is basic humanity. This is how do you connect with people. So what I do every single day, my business, what I'm paid to do, is essentially connect people to other people in human ways and to put the human face back on brands. My clients are people you know, AMD, PepsiCo, Comcast, Titleist, mostly big companies, because of course they have the hardest time remembering what it's like to be little, right? When we go to places, we get used to being treated a certain way, and I was talking to students earlier. We were talking about the fact that, when was the last time a brand made you feel like they cared that you were there? When was the last time anybody, in business made you feel like you mattered to them? That's what's at stake here. That's what the opportunity is. And that's money, that's revenue, that's opportunity. That has nothing to do with that Twitter is cool or that Facebook's neato. And MySpace rules. That's Louis. Louis will comment a lot throughout the entire presentation. That's what we do. I got an opportunity to participate in a charitable act today, and it was we got to go down to the Wahoo fish taco place, and I got my first taste of delicious fish tacos from the West Coast. And Celine Bryan has an organization called skip1.org, skip the number 1.org, and basically the premise is this: could you skip a cup of coffee today, and would you spend that money, just a couple of dollars, to support a charity? And if you could, what's that going to impact? And what she's figured out is that just doing this really simple act, just skipping a cup of coffee or a bagel or whatever you might have, People Magazine, that money can go right into buying food for hungry people, bedding for hungry people, etc. And she's got 100% pass-through charity. That's kind of neat. But what gets it really neat is we can use these social tools to say, hey, everybody come down to Wahoo today, and we're going to do this skip one thing right. We're going to get a lot of people there. We're going to have a line going out the door and around the corner so that more than one group benefits. The organization who's doing this charitable giving benefits, but then also Wahoo gets that sense of, hey, good for you for doing a cause. That's the cool part of these social tools, that we can move people to do something. We can tell stories in a different way. We can tell them in a much more personable way, right? That's the opportunity. I want to talk just a little bit about what we figured out about programs and human code. We realized that with marketing, all that people are trying to do all of a sudden was, if you hit 1 million people, then some small percentage of that people will respond, and some other percentage of those people will close. Well, those numbers are all going down. The numbers of people that are actually doing anything with this information is going down, and we're finding, it's the most incredible thing. People don't like being marketed to in that way, as being one of a giant, huge pile of sheep. I know that's stunning, right? I was talking, I had the great privilege and honor of sitting next to Dr. Sparks today at dinner, and all the research that she does, with all these, great quantifiable numbers and all that, utterly and completely backs up anything that I just pull out of my butt all day. And I love that because, I'm fond of letting people know that 57% of statistics are made up on the fly. And it's important to understand that there's what we believe and what we feel, and then there's sometimes research that backs it. I'm happy to say that at least a little bit of my associative opinion is that what Dr. Sparks is doing backs what I feel. But what we found is that there's all this human code that's us doing things. We're just kind of taking actions just because. And we've come to accept so much from the organizations that do business with us. Who said it was okay for car companies to do these crazy negotiation things where they're trying to rip you off, and so you have to try to beat them at this game? When did that become okay? My last 5 cars were Saturns because the sticker price is the price. And when I met Fritz Henderson, who runs GM right now, and 2 weeks before the bankruptcy, and I said, please don't get rid of Saturn. It's the only car I know how to buy. He really felt for me, kind of. Crap, because I'm going to go in there and I'm going to get ruined. But this is okay somehow? Business has changed so dramatically, and we're seeing the results of that right now. So many major banks just failed, and the reason they failed was because they were giving out 105 and 110% mortgage loans to people who couldn't possibly afford the house they were buying into. And then it all collapsed down on them. And why did they do that? Not because they're inherently evil, but because they were motivated by this thing that said, go get a better number, go get a better number. And this is the only way they could get more of a number. No one ever stopped to say, maybe this is where we stop, and this is good, and we'll just figure out something new. They collapsed it. 2 of the major 3 U.S. car companies collapsed. And the reason they did was because they stopped listening to what people wanted. General Motors I think Ford didn't listen very well. They were just better at pulling it back out again. We're in a time where trust is at an all-time low. And what we look at for advertising, no one sees a picture of Tiger Woods beside a car and says, I should get that car. Tiger drives that car. Right? But this started in the 50s or so, and we were like,